gahinduka buli omu alina engeri ayenda kufuna. So webale muno umwesije Samuel tutunule kono nabali bona mbakwasize dara ati gano Sebunya Spirian presentinga okulungi
I am Dr. Emely Kugonza, Member of Parliament for Buyanja East County here in Kibale District. Today we had a great day of awarding prizes to the best performing candidates in the 2022 PLE, which was released just about a few weeks back. And this is a tradition that has been on for about 10 years. Initially it was started by Honorable Kasaija when Buyanja East was still part of Buyanja. And now there are two constituencies. And at the time it was conceived, the performance of candidates in the primary living examinations in Kibale district, which ideally then was covering, was the same size as Buyanja County, was very, very poor. We used to be among the last in the country, and working together with the education department of Kibale district and other education technocrats hailing from this area, we crafted a formula that would be able to encourage the candidates themselves, but also the schools themselves, because the awards are not only going to learners, but also the head teachers of the best performing schools, and also to the schools themselves, but also to the sub-counties that have been able to deliver the best results. And in this way, we've been able to generate competition that is very positive, so that our children can first of all appreciate education, and they know once it is rewarded it's something that is valuable, and we have consistently seen an improvement in the performance in education. For now, we've seen about 98.4% of all our candidates pass. And that is a tremendous improvement. Of course, many people will want to talk about Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4. But for anybody between Division 1 and 4 has actually passed. And that is the standard of the Ministry of Education and Sports. And of course, we had there was a lot of excitement because people have been awarded and all that. And to me, as a leader hailing from this area, I'm very much impressed. And I know come the next year, the performance will be better, both in government-aided schools and also in the private schools. But as you might have heard at the same function, there were different voices, some in favor and some against, particularly on what is coming from the central government, that parents in government schools should not be paying any money. Of course, from my side, it is a matter that requires national discourse. We need to kind of build national consensus on the matter, because it's quite critical, because we also know the capacity of our government. We have many schools that are not built to date. We have many schools that do not have classrooms, even the desks, the scholastic materials, no latrine. We know many schools don't have teacher houses, and all these these contribute immensely to the performance of any given institution. And we know, of course, like in terms of feeding and all that, of course, government has been very supportive in terms of encouraging parents to provide foods, even in their schools, and so that at least they can pack for them in a modest way, at least for children to be able to get some lunch at school, and that's a welcome development. But we've seen also self-help initiatives that have been able to deliver greater results. And looking at the case for Kibale, the schools that have performed better in from the government side are those schools where the parents and the school leadership have worked out a strategy where parents were contributing. And contributing in terms of, yes, providing for weekend education, yes, of course, policy-wise, is it acceptable? Should it be the way? Of course, that is a matter that is debatable, but it has been able to deliver the results. And of course, on the other hand, there are those who are saying, no, we shouldn't be able to contribute. We'll let government shoulder the burden. But when you look at the capitation grants, one will need to also to interrogate this and ask how much can this do? And, but of course, when you look at the private sector, other church-founded schools and faith-based schools, you find the performance is better because there is another arm that is bringing in resources that the parents themselves are not able to raise. And of course, from my side, I think the debate is healthy to kind of, yes, government as the primary service provider should shoulder the burden. And of course, if it is able to do so, certainly nobody should be able to be asked. But even when there is a model of self-help, our argument is don't touch the school children. Let the learners keep in schools. If you have an arrangement as parents of the area and probably you have also working with the private sector, no, I think it is a welcome development because even the constitution itself demands us to be patriotic, to be able to provide and do something for our areas. But this should not be at the expense of the children. And to that, we really support the president. No child should be out of a government school because a parent has not been able to make a contribution. So the contribution should not be a kind of a passport for a child to remain in school. And that is an argument that we all strongly support. But it requires a national consensus and there should be explicit guidelines such that whether a councillor is speaking, whether a member of parliament is speaking about the matter, whether it is somebody from the education department, should be able, all of us should be able to read from the same page and deliver the same message and provide guidelines of the do's and the don'ts. And I think that is how best the nation will be guided in as far as this matter is concerned. The promoters of homosexuality in our institutions. Homosexuality is not part of our culture in Uganda. Homosexuality, there are communities out there that have embraced it, but certainly not us. And if it is not part of us, it shouldn't be forced on us, and people should. Yes, for people who want to practice it wherever it is acceptable, let them go ahead, but not in our schools and not in our country, not in our communities where it is not part of our culture. People should not, we condemn those that are sponsoring the same. But if people willingly elsewhere, where it is revered, and I have no problem if they think it is right, and certainly I don't want to go into that direction, but for our case, knowing our culture very well and knowing our values, and certainly I don't support that. And one thing that we must do is, first of all, the education ministry, of course, of recent it has come up to talk explicitly about the same, but I think as a nation, we need to come up with clear guidelines on how the people in schools, the school management committees, the PTAs, the matrons in schools, those in the learners themselves, the teachers themselves, on what kind of information should be given at this time, at this point in time. Because first of all, the voice is there, and we need for people to appreciate that there is this voice, and we must fight it early. And to fight something, you need to be adequately equipped with knowledge and information, and the government needs to come out aggressively to provide this in all the spaces, the media spaces, TV, radios, print media, and also through policy and maybe information, education, communication materials to be sent out there to the different schools so that people may be able to know. And also to kind of already early warning signs to see what is it that we must be looking out to, what probably would be the conduct. If somebody probably is inviting you, is a teacher inviting you to go to his home and all that, late at night or just privately, you don't have to accept. And also schools to also come up with probably extra guidelines in terms of regulations to kind of bar certain activities, certain movements at different times, and this will definitely help. So that is quite important. First of all, we are in a world where we are trying to look at the whole world, big, just a money economy, the money world. And you cannot just sit down and watch. Parents and every member of the community must get involved in a productive activity. We are lucky that our government is promoting and supporting this kind of direction. It has provided different funds, Myoga, now we have parish development model, and being used, women and others, and of course a number of other programs, the roads, the health, education, and all that together are actually trying to ensure that they deliver a Ugandan at the next level. But we need to take advantage of these opportunities. There are also the private sector, the civil society sector, there are also faith-based organizations. All these are running different programs. One must be able to pick out what is it that I must do at a household level. But what is of great importance is that any household, every household should be able to develop a vision for the household. They need to work together, husband and wife, together with their children, in moving into a particular direction. Look at what needs to be done, what is missing, who must provide what, and that unity at a home level will definitely be able to deliver the kind of development that we need. And of course, there are many opportunities. In this country, there's the poverty, yes, today we can be labeled a poor country, but given the massive resources that we have, this should never be a poor country. We should never have poor people here, but unfortunately we do have, and that's why we need also to go back to kind of reflect on what has gone wrong. And I think this brings me to the issue of mindset change. It's one of those pillars under the parish development model, and it's very clear in the policy framework that was indicated that this was going to precede any other intervention under the parish development model. But unfortunately, this is something that has been relegated to the periphery, and yet it is very fundamental. In my view, this country has never been short of money, but it is how to utilize the money. It's about how to tap the money and how to work frugally, how to work intelligently, how to work efficiently, how to work effectively with the monies that are available. And unfortunately, you can only unlock that when you have got the appropriate mindset. So we need a mind reconfiguration. And unfortunately, we seem to have fewer mindset changes in this country.
I'm Hon Emely Kugonza, the Education Officer in Charge Guidance and Counseling, Kibale District. Yes.
Now tell us about the performance. How did you perform?
Yes, we performed well compared to last year. We got 240 first grades, 1,161 second grades, 464 Division 3, and then 254 Division 4. We had 254 Division 4 and 154 Division U. And 34 were absent, and that is all. We had 2,302 candidates, and for this year we scored 9.